Hey y'all, so my name is Haley and Swatzell. This is my husband Josh Swatzell.
Hey.
Oh, gracious.
Just said hey.
It's the way you said it.
Hey.
Oh Lord, here we go. So anyways, this video is more of him being sort of the one that's taking over, so I will let him take over from here.
Alright, this is actually Haley's thing, the video. I don't normally do videos, so please bear with me. So, as part of her book that's just came out, we wanted to do a 4-part series of questions about her life before, during, and after her assault, and then finish with a 4th video of questions from her viewers and followers. So start posting your questions or sending us messages of your questions, and we will get to those during the 4th video. So with that, let's start discussing about before your assault. So
Why am I so stressed out?
we'll just act like we're doing a Marco Polo with one of our friends, and this will get interesting.
I was about to say, yikes.
So, tell everybody what life was like before your assault.
Well, I'd actually gotten to like a really good point because about 6 months before the assault happened, like I was in therapy for previous suicidal attempts and just really bad depression. So I was in a really good place. And I just feel like it was whatever normal was, which I don't, that's hard to say because I haven't had that since being sexually assaulted, but I feel like life was good. I was in college doing good hard work. I was back to my old grind. I don't know, I felt like there was finally like a light at the end of the tunnel, whereas like right there at the end of that tunnel, bam, that happened.
What was your relationship with God like at that time?
I was still, I think during this period of time, I was still at the church that I grew up in. And I didn't really have a relationship with God, didn't know what that was, didn't know that that was a thing. I did know that I was supposed to read my Bible. So I would read it every now and again, but because I also struggled at the time with demonic oppression, like every time I went to read it, it was like, closed, okay, that's cool. Or I would read something and like then completely forget about what I was reading. So didn't have a relationship with God, and I tried to read my Bible. Prayer was like if and when things were bad.
Sounds like most people.
Yeah.
So, what was your friendships or relationships with friends and family like?
Oh my gosh. Well, I would say I only really had like one friend at that time, and we were really, really close before all of that happened. Family, it was interesting. We weren't, like, we kind of met like on Thanksgiving and Christmas for my mom's side, and then my dad's side of the family, that's not even there. But like with my mom's side of the family, like we just seen each other like twice a year, and that was it, and I never really talked to them. My mom would kind of give them updates and stuff, but that was pretty much it. So there was really no relationship there, and just no communication either. It was just kind of like, I'm independent and living my own life, and I can do this myself kind of mentality.
Would you change how things were then?
Yes.
Or leave them the same, or...
Well, I guess leave them the same because I learned a lot from that time period of like living life for me and on my own, which was my thought process. But yeah, looking back, like I'm glad how things are now, so I wouldn't really change the past, because had that not happened, I would have probably not grown from it.
So,
oh, and we're just winging this, by the way.
Yes.
We don't have like questions and answers here. We're winging it.
yeah, she wanted to prepare, and I was like, no. If you became famous and are questioned, this is how it's going to be. And so, there's no being prepared. So, You can walk off and get mad anytime you want, like the rest of the celebrities that we know and love or hate. So, what were your goals at that time?
My goal was, one, to move. I did not want to live in my hometown anymore. I was over it. So my goal was to get out of there. Kind of like while I was in college was I was going to get a career job. Like I wanted to even, after, let's see, that summer before that happened, the summer prior, I was in Rome. So I'd studied abroad and I wanted to like go back abroad. So my goal was actually to move to Scotland, get my master's degree, further my degree and whatnot, and just mainly focus on career. So like I had that like 5 and 10 year like plan out, man. We were going places. When the little counselors for college asked me like, "What's your plans?" Boy, I got them. Let's go. We are going places. So.
What advice would you give Haley at that time from now?
Don't plan too far ahead. I think that having some idea of like what you want life to look like is important, but also yielding, now knowing, like having a relationship with God, like yielding to the Lord and like not just being like, oh well, I kind of have my plans and I hope God's plans line up with mine. No. It's more about like, well, I kind of have a rough idea of where I think things are going, but if they don't go that way, I'm not gonna like get upset. It's kind of like not setting up too many expectations, and then when you don't meet those expectations, you think, oh, I'm a failure, because that was my thought process.
Yeah. The American dream.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. But I didn't want the full American dream. I didn't even want to get married. God love him. I love him to death. But I didn't even want to get married. That was not a part of the equation. I did not want, and still don't want, children. So like, I was going to live like a single...
No children.
I was going to live like a single life of like being a strong, independent woman. That was the goal. I'm still a strong, independent woman.
I started to say you're still a strong, independent woman. Okay.
I'm just married.
She's abusive. She hits me daily. I'm kidding. I usually deserve it if she does. And it's always playing.
Yeah.
We're always playing. So, she's, I think, nervous about what I was going to do during this video. But
yeah.
As you can tell, I'm well behaved.
It's going well.
So, one last one. Let's think of a good one here. So, things lead up to the assault. So, for those that haven't read the book, how much of the book covers the things that lead up to the assault?
The first 2 chapters, if I'm not mistaken, discuss that. Rather, the first chapter. It's sad I don't even know my own book, but I'm pretty sure like the first chapter or 2 discusses like, yeah, it does. It discusses the prior of it. But for me, like, I guess I was so starstruck with having all of the things that I thought I had put together myself and thinking, man, I've gotten really far. I was so just in love with my life, and when you're in love in any way, shape, or form, like your whole prefrontal cortex just goes right out the window. So it's sad to say that like there were a lot, and I do mean a lot of signs leading up to the sexual assault that should have told me this is not a good idea. However, like I never even recognized them until after. So I just feel like my blissful ignorance, which I don't have anymore.
Yeah.
I no longer have that like innocent mind frame. Like I kind of view everything now with a lens of like, oh, well, what bad could happen in this situation? Like I always try to like frame it instead of like what's the good. I frame it in like what's the bad.
And she does.
Yeah, it's a very pessimistic view. I don't like it. That's something that I'm working on. That's a slow process, but
We have to watch for sketchy places, as she calls it, when we're out and about.
yeah.
Let's not go there because it's sketchy. And so...
And I don't mean that in like a super judgmental way. Like I just mean that because like I don't know, like I'm so on guard at every moment. Like when I'm out of even when I'm at my house, I'm still paranoid. But like that's just, like I have to be afraid. I feel like when I step out of my house that anything could happen.
Yeah. So, and I've happened to learn that mindset too. Hey, this is reality for all women, really.
Yeah. And men they just don't think about it because it's not something that they have to.
Yeah.
No, I mean, and that's not to say that men don't like get kidnapped or sexually assaulted or anything like that. They absolutely do. One, it's just not heard about or talked about, really.
Yeah.
It's like you don't really realize that that's...
The numbers are there, but it's not talked about.
No.
So. But, well, let's conclude there.
Okay.
And then in the next video, we'll get to what life was like during that time of being assaulted and right there after it.
That is like... that makes my heart race. Because that was such a turbulent time. But
we won't get into the deep details. But
yeah.
The book takes care of that.
It does. So yeah.
If you don't have the book, Amazon.com, After All I've Been Through by Hali and Swatzell. You can get it on Kindle version. What?
It's the way you're like promoting. It's so funny. You're like, it's like your seller voice just kicked in. You're like, if you need a used car, come down to the Swatzells. We'll get you a used car. Well, I can't even do the voice. Like I'm not a salesperson, but you got like that whole thing going on.
See what I have to put up with? See what I have to put up with. But anyways, also, if you have bought the book, please, especially off of Amazon, please leave a review. Please.
And if you don't have, if you didn't buy the book from Amazon, we got like some feedback, not only from the publisher, but from people that had tried to leave a review. If you didn't buy the book off Amazon, you can't leave a review on Amazon. That's a very recent thing that Amazon has done. So there is a website called Goodreads.
Yes.
It's a free account. It's super cool. If you read a lot of Kindle books, it also links up to like your Kindle books as well. But you can go and leave a review on there for the book. It's on there as well. And then I'm also going to edit my Facebook page within the next few days to have like a little review place so people can leave reviews there as well.
Also, if you talk about us, share, or talk about Hali, share any of her posts or videos, be sure and do a hashtag HaliAnnBook. That way it helps promote her too. So, anything else?
That is all.
That is all. Until next time.
Love y'all. Bye.